I imagine right now you're feeling a little bit like Alice, tumbling down the rabbit hole. There's something wrong with the world. It's like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. But that is what has brought you to me. To find the truth, Otaku Hero.
What truth?
This is your last chance, Otaku Hero. You take the fish oil pill, you wake up in your bed. You go back to everything you've ever known. You take the charm, and I'll show you how deep this rabbit hole really goes. This show is one that I read the synopsis, and I was like, oh, another otaku show, whatever. I get pushed the opening for this show. I'm like, huh, intriguing, I'll click on it. And I watched the opening, I'm in. We've always talked about how important it is to not only have a great song, but to have animation that demonstrates the themes and what the ideas of what you want to talk about in the show. And I think that is very, very clear in this absolutely bananas of an opening.
Yeah, I was floored. I loved it. The image of the magical girls in the car going with Otaku Hero running.
Yeah, on the side.
And it's like zoomed in on his face.
Yep.
So one of the things that really grabbed me for this show was like the art direction or the color palette. They use very muted tones. It's very reminiscent of like late 2000s, early 2010s, like Studio Gainax kind of a style where there's no artificial bloom. It's very subtle lighting. Yeah, that OP is just so awesome. And the visual storytelling is so great.
Oh yeah,
with
the Spider Lily, obviously popular, really put into the zeitgeist by Kimetsu no Yaiba, and it has this strong connotations with death. There's a lot of that I think is hinted throughout the first opening. And I think it's very interesting because at the surface, you might say, this is a potentially pro-otaku show, right? Where it's like the otaku clearly are getting oppressed by this fascist government, right? And they have to fight back against them. But I have a suspicion that a lot of this takes place in Otaku Hero's mind.
Have you ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world?
I have a feeling though that it's going to be a lot more literal. It's an interesting take. I do hope it turns out to be more of a metaphorical thing that everything is in
because I think too, pairing it with the ending
so
is why you can be like, something is going on here.
Because that ending, like the whole show is kind of like these otaku are throwing away their lives. You see like the ED with the girls all strewn about like they're garbage.
Exactly. Well, I think what's great is that it represents like they're washed aside with nets and buoys and all these sort of, again, this sort of debris that would wash up on the shore.
Yeah, they're literally trash.
Exactly. And so I think that especially because the otaku kind of culture has become very consumeristic. Buy, consume! Remember, every purchase helps a starving animator to live. You are the most prominent anime figure collector in North America. So I think especially because he's in a hospital bed. And the three magical girls are angels pulling him up. And the rest are...
there's also kind of this idea of like Otaku Hero having a messiah complex.
Exactly.
We see at the end of the OP, it's the Last Supper.
Yep. Even how he's positioned with the angels pulling him up and then him being pulled down by all the copies of the Anarchy Blue and Pink. Right? I think, again, the first 3 episodes of this show have been relatively standard. There have been some humorous parts where you're just like, I'm in it because it's just so funny.
The humor is very much on like the whole in your face crude humor. but there's a purpose behind that.
Exactly. I mean, the car otaku that was brainwashed.
Yeah.
Has literally gets something stuck up his butt.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, if that's not, on the nose, I don't know what else you can say about it.
Yeah. So the whole second episode with recruiting Pink.
Yeah.
That whole dream thing was really fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It
reminded me a lot of Little Witch Academia.
Yeah.
With the mushroom.
Yeah.
Where they go to.
Yeah. Sushi's dream.
Yes. Really
Craziness,
yep. But it all has a actual meaning.
Yep. They take the red pill or the blue pill.
Yeah. But like you get an idea of Pink's psyche.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that this show clearly is like a love letter to.
Of course, it's both. I think this show is both a love letter to otaku culture as well as a repudiation of it, right? Of the people that go too deep.
Yes.
Right. I think what this show will end up being is that. Sure, the people that are persecuting people because they don't fit neatly into society's boxes are wrong, but also the people that go too deep and get lost in the subculture also are not correct.
Yes,
right?
Which you could also argue you see a little bit of in the second episode where where her Pink's groupies kind of understand that they need to let her go.
Yeah,
they can't keep her here.
Like I said, I think the show is so awesome because I think a perfect show is a show that can be watched on two levels. It can be watched on what is the meaning, what are the themes of the show, and watched on just, is this entertaining and fun, right? And I think so far, the show has given enough of both that I'm extremely excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what they're gonna go through from here.
Yep.
I've been getting such a big vibe of like this idea of talking about Japanese counterculture and otaku lifestyles with this over the top, in your face kind of action and comedy, kind of like a Kill la Kill. They talked about like it was an interesting take on Japanese fashion and stuff through magical girl genre and battle shonen. Yeah. And so I think they can do a similar thing with otaku culture.
I think that it's so funny that magical girl shows of all things have become this like the new statement shows. Like it used to be Mecha, right? Mecha has this storied history of being about so much more. I mean, also being cool ass robots fighting each other, but also having that deeper layer to it. But it's basically become, since like Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica, that ever since then it's become like magical girl shows are now that vehicle to tell interesting stories. We always say like you can look at an OP and ED as like how competently is this handled. We've seen that there's so much like visual storytelling and just with the OP and ED. Clearly the people who are handling this are very talented and know what they're doing. So I don't think there's anything to worry about in the future. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it could still fumble the bag.
It still could, yes.
But I think that I would rather give a show like this that's interesting and unique and its own story, right? It's not an adaptation, right? It's its own thing. Yeah. So that means that it has a beginning, a middle, and end, right? And so I think that I would rather gamble on that than just be like, okay, this is the first 50 chapters of a really solid manga adapted, you know? Yeah. People need to take chances. Yeah. In the end, interesting people will make interesting things at the end of the day, and if this ends up as a train wreck, I'll still be happy I got to see something interesting rather than the 30th season of Data Live.
Even if this is, they never really scrape the
if they don't reach the potential.
We talk about watching this on two levels, the surface level and like the deeper meaning. Even if they never really hit that potential, the deeper meaning, I think on a surface level, this show is entertaining enough. Yeah, and it's crazy. Unique enough to
it's so wacky.
To keep your interest. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is simultaneously the best and the worst of anime. I feel like. Yeah. Whoa! Pause. Editor Kurt here, and I honestly cannot believe what these two morons have been saying.
Really? These two guys are the ones criticizing anime as being consumeristic? That guy spent all of his money on all of this garbage. And that guy, he single-handedly keeps Ami Ami in business. Man, whatever. Back to these two guys.
It's one of those things where you're like, we talked about fucking Yamada, right? Or whatever the fuck we talked about, like about how it was like not taking enough chances, you know? And like this is swinging for the fence.
Yeah,
we love that.
Yeah,
just try. If you fail, we'll celebrate you like Wonder Egg priority. You know, everyone shits on me for liking that show, you know, but you know, just give it a shake, man. Give it a good
and at least
honest try.
You just need to watch it for Anarchy Chan.
It was me, editor Kurt, all along. Didn't expect to see me so soon again, right? So I see you've made it to the end of the video. You should have. Right there. Look.